Hi, sixth grade. Mrs. Trendell here from SCAZA to do our next lesson. But before we get started, I'd like to review a little bit of what we learned last week. And if you can think back, we talked about 9 peer pressure refusal strategies. Remember, strategy is a plan, okay? A plan of what you would do if you were in that situation, okay? If someone was pressuring you into doing something you don't want to do. Okay, so we have steer clear of the situation. If you know that walking home, you might come across somebody that is not a good influence and is going to try to get you to do something you don't want to do. Maybe try walking a different way home. Okay, just staying out of that situation. Broken record, walk away, ignore, state the facts, say no, okay, make an excuse, better idea, so come up with a better idea or a better solution of what you could do instead, and reverse the pressure. So put it back on the person and tell them or ask them why they're trying to do or get you to do something that you don't want to do. If someone was your friend, they wouldn't be doing that, right? So remember, when you're using these refusal strategies, remember to stand tall, okay? Look them in the eye and speak up, okay? So assertive speaking. Okay, the next topic that we're going to talk about for our lesson number 5 for 6th grade is the effects of alcohol use. So today we're going to talk about a drug that at some point in your life you might be pressured into using. Okay, so even though it's legal to use for people that are over the age of 21, using this drug could lead to many negative consequences. Okay, we're going to talk about those negative consequences in our lesson today. And these negative consequences can interfere with a person's ability to reach their goals. So this drug is called alcohol. So there are 3 types of alcoholic beverages. There's beer, wine, and liquor. Okay, so I have a riddle for you, and I want to see if you can figure this out. So the riddle goes like this. One evening, 3 friends over the age of 21 meet up at a restaurant. Why is it relevant for me to tell you that they are over 21? Well, if you said because it's the legal drinking age, you are correct. Okay, the 3 friends sit down and the waiter asks what they would like to drink. Herman orders a 12-ounce bottle of beer, and you can see that there's a 12-ounce actually glass of beer here. Okay, Hobart orders a 5-ounce glass of wine, so you can see that on the left. And Oscar orders a mixed drink made with 1.5 ounces of liquor. So that's there on the right. So this is the riddle. Which friend do you think ordered the drink with the most alcohol? Okay, so think. Was it Herman with his 12 ounces of beer? Was it Hobart with his 5 ounces of wine? Or was it Oscar with 1.5 ounces of liquor? Okay, the answer to this riddle may surprise you. All 3 drinks contain the same amount of alcohol per serving. So they all pack the same punch. So 12 ounces of beer is equal to 5 ounces of wine, which is equal to 1.5 ounces of liquor. The amount of alcohol consumed is what affects the body, not the type of alcoholic drink. In the case of a teenager or anyone else underage, any amount of alcohol consumed harms the brain and body. So someone might try to convince you to drink alcohol by using the peer pressure line, it's only beer, but now you know that alcohol is alcohol, okay? And it will still affect you in the same way that if you had liquor or wine. So now we know that beer, wine, and liquor contain alcohol. We also know that underage drinking affects the healthy development of the brain. So being under the age of 21, your brain is still developing, and alcohol can permanently damage your brain and affect it to develop in a healthy way. So this diagram is similar to the diagram in your workbook, which you don't have. But what I'm going to do is we're just going to go over the parts of the brain and how we're going to look at how underage drinking can affect the different areas of your brain. So the prefrontal cortex, which is kind of over to the left part of your brain. The prefrontal cortex controls your functioning, executive functioning, including your judgment, your social control, decision making, your emotions, and your senses. Okay, so all the things that we've talked about so far are decision making, our emotions, and that part of your brain controls that functioning. So someone that uses alcohol can impair the ability to think clearly, okay, and lowers your inhibitions. So you're not going to make very good decisions when your brain's not functioning correctly. Okay, now what happens in the hypothalamus? Hypothalamus is a little bit lower, kind of in that, it's like kind of in the middle to the left. Okay, the hypothalamus controls the heart rate, so it controls your heart and your heart rate. So using alcohol slows down the heart rate. Okay, so alcohol can affect your heart by slowing down your heart rate. The hippocampus, okay, so that's kind of in the middle part here on this diagram. It's not actually just written out for you, which is hard to follow, but just follow along. So the hippocampus controls your memory. Okay, alcohol can cause memory loss and blackouts. So alcohol can impact the ability to learn, okay, and also the ability to remember. So someone that uses alcohol might wake up in the morning and have no idea what happened the night before. What about the medulla oblongata? So the medulla oblongata is like kind of low on the kind of in the spinal cord area, and this is the part of the brain that controls your breathing and your body temperature. Okay, so alcohol use depresses or lowers your respiratory functions, so it slows down your breathing. Binge drinking, so someone that drinks more than 1 or 2 drinks and keeps drinking many drinks at one time, binge drinking can shut down the medulla and lead to a coma. It actually can put your brain into a coma. Okay, and finally, the last part we're going to talk about is the cerebellum. Okay, the cerebellum is kind of over in that kind of round, spongy looking area to the right, the lower right. Okay, the cerebellum coordinates movement. Okay, so alcohol can slow down your reflexes and cause a loss of balance. So you can see how someone could get very hurt if their reflexes are not up to the normal standard and their balance is off. They can fall, they could really hurt their bodies or hit their heads, so it's very dangerous. So this slide is showing us a scan of a healthy brain. So the one on the left, it's smooth, symmetrical shape of this brain shows the healthy brain activity of a non-drinker. So healthy brain activity on the left of someone who does not drink. Whereas the brain scan on the right, this brain has a lack of symmetry. Okay, so it's not the same if you put a line down the middle, a vertical line down the middle, the left and right parts are not the same. Whereas the healthy brain, a vertical line down the middle shows a symmetrical, healthy brain. Okay, so the brain on the right is not symmetrical, and that means that the brain is not functioning well. When the brain is impaired by alcohol, it is less active. So the areas that appear to have holes represent damaged or inactive brain cells. This brain does not have actual holes. There is just no activity in these areas. Okay, so the brain actually doesn't have actual holes, it's just a lack of activity. So no activity in those areas. Okay, so next we're going to play a game called Brain Strain to review what we've learned about the effects of alcohol on the brain and to practice the peer pressure refusal strategies in situations that involve alcohol. Okay, so because we are not in person, we can't play this game together, but I'll ask you some questions. I'll give you a few seconds to think, and then I will answer, and you can see if you had the correct answer. Okay, so true or false? Drinking alcohol is more harmful to teens than adults because their brains are still developing. Okay. So if you said true, you are correct. The brain continues to grow and develop until the mid-20s. Okay, so until you're in your mid-20s, your brain is still developing. So alcohol can slow down or stop that healthy development of your brain. So that's why it's very important to stay away. Okay, true or false? Alcohol can cause slow reaction times. If you said true, you are correct. Okay, so alcohol is a depressant drug. Okay, depressant means that it slows down the body's functioning. So it slows down the communication between the neurons in the brain that send signals to your body. So it depresses the reaction or slows down the reaction time. Okay, let's try another one. True or false? Drinking a lot of alcohol in a short period of time is called binge drinking. Okay, that is true. Binge drinking or drinking too many drinks in a short amount of time can be fatal. Okay, so that means that someone could die because it slows down your breathing and your heart rate. And when someone drinks a very high amount of alcohol or large amount of alcohol, your body can actually slow down and stop breathing altogether, and your heart can stop beating. Okay, how about this one? True or false? Alcohol use can impair a person's ability to speak clearly. Okay, that is true. The temporal lobe, which controls speech, is affected by alcohol, causing slurred speech. Okay, so when someone drinks alcohol, they slur their speech because it's affecting their temporal lobe, which controls your speech and the functioning of your speech. Okay, the next one, alcohol is not addictive. Okay, this is false. Alcohol is an addictive drug. Okay, so let's do, these are peer pressure. Let's do a couple, just have a couple questions before we get into our peer pressure refusal strategies involving alcohol. All right, so these are, this is a question that I want you to think about, and it's a scenario. So the first one says it's summer vacation, and you and your friend are headed to the recreation center for some fun. Your friend says, I snuck some liquor out of my house. Let's skip the rec center and have some fun drinking. Use the peer pressure strategy to refuse the pressure to drink. Okay, so what you need to do is use the strategy called reverse the pressure. So how would you tell that person no by using that strategy? So remember, when you use that strategy, you're putting it back on them, the pressure back on them. So you could say something like, if you were my friend, you wouldn't be pressuring me. Why are you pressuring me? Okay. Good friends don't try to get their friends to do something that they know is harmful. Okay, how about this one? Mateo's goal is to run a mile in under 8 minutes. How could alcohol use affect his ability to reach his goal? Okay, so remember what alcohol does to your brain and to your body's functioning. So you might have said he might lose his balance and coordination. He could fall and get hurt. His vision might be blurred, so he can't see to run. He might not care about his goal anymore. So sometimes just the use of alcohol kind of, the person might just not care, okay? Might give up on their goal. All right, so how about some peer pressure scenarios? Let's see. How about this one? You and your friend are getting ready for the school dance. Your friend says, "We should do some shots of liquor before we go to the dance." Use "say no" to refuse the pressure to drink alcohol. Okay, so you can say it quietly out loud or to yourself, but a way you could do that is say no, no thank you, not on your life, no. Okay, how about this one? Naomi and Adele are going to a pool party. Adele says, "My parents have some beer in the refrigerator. Let's take some to the party." Naomi says, how about we take a bunch of different flavors of fruit juice and make some flavors instead. Okay, so which peer pressure refusal strategy did Naomi use? Okay, so she came up with a better idea, right? So instead of trying that beer, she is going to give a different idea of something else that could be fun instead. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, Miguel went to the mall with some friends. One of them took liquor out of their backpack. As soon as Miguel saw it, he walked away and called his older brother to come pick him up. Which peer pressure refusal strategy did Miguel use? If you said walk away, you were correct. Okay, he got himself out of that situation. Okay, good job. So with all the information we have about the dangers of underage drinking, why do you think some teenagers will still decide to drink alcohol? Well, sometimes they aren't able to get away from the peer pressure. Maybe they think that they'll be cool. They might be trying to fit in. Okay, so where do you think teenagers get the idea that drinking alcohol is cool? Well, how about movies, TV, other people who drink, YouTube, maybe. Okay, the things we read, that we see, the things online that we see. So we are exposed to all sorts of media messages in the television programs and the movies we watch, the places we visit online, the video games we play, and the things we read. Sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference, though, between a media message intended to entertain and a media message intended to sell or persuade. The job of the advertiser is to promote products and persuade people to buy them. So your job as the consumer is to receive these messages and decide what to do with the information. So is the product good for you? Is it something you need? Okay, those are some of the questions you might ask. So your ability to filter these messages will help you determine if the information is true, if it's consistent with your goals, and if it's worth acting on. So the advertisers apply strategies to appeal to your interests. So this is called persuasive advertising. And the advertisers use marketing tactics to persuade us to buy or use a product, so the product that they're trying to sell. So these are some of the tactics below that I listed here. So the first one is popularity. So their tactic is to show the consumer that using the product or brand will make you popular. Next one is romance. The product or brand will bring you love or make you look more appealing. Fun and relaxation. Okay, you will have lots of fun by using the product or brand. You see here, this is in this Corona beer advertisement. It's showing the person relaxing on the beach. Okay, having fun and relaxing. The next one is health. The product will make you healthy. So images of healthy looking, athletic people, they associate the product with healthy living, even if the product is bad for your health. Okay, another tactic is independence. So rugged, rebellious images associate a product with independence. Glamour, attractive, flashy images associate a product or brand with glamour. And lastly, adventure. So images of adventurous, risky activities associate the product with excitement and thrills. So these tactics are used to sell everything from smoothies to toothpaste. Okay, however, they are also used to sell alcohol. Okay, and alcohol is something that is, as we talked about, is not healthy for you, not good for your health. Your ability to break down the messages will make you a wise consumer. So it will make you think before you buy something. Okay, so these strategies try to make drinking alcohol seem fun, but they also suggest that everybody does it, right? So are we getting the whole picture? Okay, do these messages show people slurring their words or losing their balance or making fools of themselves? No. And why not? Well, because the messages promote a positive image of alcohol. Okay? They do not show the whole truth, because if they did, most likely people would not want to buy the product. Just because something is printed in a magazine or presented online or plastered on a billboard or maybe acted out in a movie or on TV, it isn't necessarily healthy or a good idea. So as a smart, media literate consumer, so knowing how to read the media, you can see beyond the images and the messages because you know the truth about the harmful effects of alcohol. Alcohol abuse can permanently damage a young person's brain. It can be a roadblock that keeps you from doing what you want to do in life. So your understanding of the effects of alcohol and the negative consequences of its abuse will help you make healthy decisions about alcohol, and your understanding of how advertising works will help you filter messages inconsistent with your goals. So make healthy decisions for a better life. And next week we are going to talk about what influences some teens to use nicotine products. Okay, so that concludes our lesson on the effects of alcohol use. And again, we have our email, scazaprevention@gmail.com, if you would like to write us with any questions or comments. And then next time we will talk about nicotine and the effects of nicotine use. Have a good day.